to this camera. I'll do one on the count of three. I'm gonna clap, and then you go do your take. Okay?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, my name is Shannon Morales. I'm the founder and CEO of Trabaja, your modern day work tribe, and the curator of Diversitech, the largest inclusion and tech conference on the East Coast. And I'm plugged in with Mo B outside.
Awesome. Let me get one more take. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Morales. I'm the founder and CEO of Trabaja, your modern day work tribe, and also the curator of Diversitech, the largest inclusion and tech conference on the East Coast. And I'm plugged in with Mo B outside.
Awesome. Keep it rolling, Mo. So you get in frame. Frame the shot.
Sounds good. All right.
Move a little closer to her.
Yep, I got you.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Headphones, please. You should hear me and I should hear you.
Level should be good, right?
Yeah, they sound good. Talk to me, Shannon.
Hello.
Yes, sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. All right, so we're gonna start. Is there any important dates that we should know about the Diversitech tickets?
Absolutely. The conference.
No, we didn't start yet, but I'm just curious.
Oh, any dates?
Any dates, like they're gonna get more expensive after a certain time, or
No, that date already passed.
oh, well, that's what I thought. Because I was like, all right, because I went last year. I remember.
All right.
All right, but it did sell out last year.
It did sell out last year. Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that. Everything sold out. I was like, this is dope. Super excited. All right, yeah, I'm gonna do my little a little corny intro, and then we'll start talking. Again, first 7-ish minutes. I know it in my head, so you just keep talking, and then we'll be good. You've done this a million times. We're good.
All right, y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hola, darlings. It's Moby outside, and welcome back to the pregame. I'm sitting here with Shannon Morales, who's going to talk to us about Trabaja's Diversitech IT conference that's coming to Philly. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to. It's a small intro, but tell the people about themselves. If they've never heard of Diversitech, they've never heard of Trabaja.
Yes.
Who am I talking to?
My name is Shannon, and I am the founder and CEO of Trabaja. And Trabaja is essentially a platform that helps undersupported professionals navigate career transitions in tech and startup. And Diversitech is essentially coming up. It's one of the largest inclusion and tech conferences on the East Coast, and it's in Philadelphia every year. But
Shout out every year.
Yes,
Every year.
Every year.
Okay.
And unfortunately, very few Philadelphians know about it. And so, of course, I had to tap in with Moby outside.
Let's go.
To make sure we get out to all the Philadelphians in your network to make sure they know about it this year because it sold out last year.
It absolutely sold out last year, and I went, paid my money. Okay, paid my money, showed up to Trabaja and had an amazing time. Showed up to Diversitech, had an amazing time last year. So, in terms of who's coming to this event, I know that it comes in tiers, but let's sort of break it down. So, if you're new to IT, what are you going to get from Diversitech?
Right. So this year we broke it down into 3 tracks. You have Tech Novice, so those who are new to tech, looking to just explore and kind of navigate different career pathways into tech. Then you have Entrepreneurship, so those who are looking to build with tech.
Shout out to the founders.
Yes, shout out to the entrepreneurs and the founders. And then we have Industry Experts. So we have workshops that are actually being led by tech industry experts that are professionals of color as well. So advanced cybersecurity, advanced product design, and a lot more. So for those of you who are industry experts, you've been in the space for a little bit of time, definitely get that pass, and that's a VIP pass for the industry experts.
And I can say, because I have been in IT for a while, definitely go, if you've been in the industry for a while, take the VIP, take the advanced track, because you're going to be in rooms of your peers. You're going to be in rooms with people across the country that are sharing ideas and expertise that you may be able to apply literally the very next Monday when you go back to work. So I can definitely, personal experience, tell you that it's definitely worth it. Now, we got to talk about the attendees though.
Okay.
Because she said that she sold out last year and did, but now we're in a bigger space. So
We're in a much larger space.
where will we be this year?
We are going to be in the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Yay.
So excited.
I'm very excited. It's like one of those moments where, you know, you walk past the convention center and you never think that one day you'll have an event that's in that space. But we're large enough now. And
Yes.
it's one of the only spaces that can house Diversitech and stay in Philadelphia. And so we wanted to make sure that we kept the grassroots feeling of Diversitech and we still have it in Philadelphia at the convention center. So we're really excited.
All right, so tell us about the dates.
The dates are May 7th to the 10th. So May 7th to the 9th, it's going to be in the convention center. And then May 10th is essentially a community partner showcase day. We have over 25 different community partners from all corners of the tech universe that are coming out. They're flying in from Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and so many other tech hubs and cities across the country. And they're having their own little experiences and events on that May 10th day.
I love that because you wouldn't know it unless you watch the entire episode of the pregame. YouTube, Spotify, all the places, okay? Then you'll hear about the network that Shannon's been able to procure and sort of not only around Trabaja, but sort of all of her experience in the IT space. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, yes? But again, if you're in the IT space, looking to break into the IT space, or just really, really curious about sort of what's going on in the IT space, highly, highly, highly recommend that you tap into Trabaja and Diversitech. Tell them where to find you.
So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty much on all social media platforms, but more specifically, you can find out about Trabaja and Diversitech at trabaja.co. That's TRIBAJA.co. And go to our events page, and Diversitech is right there.
All right, wonderful. So I do want to talk about how Diversitech went from being an online conference to breaking into the convention center.
Yeah.
So like, what is that? How does that sort of process? What did that process look like? One, and then two, you know, leading this charge. How does that feel to see that in? It feels like to us a short amount of time, but like I'm not doing the work.
Yeah. It's funny because I just spoke to one of my past clients from the very first Diversitech when it was completely virtual. And they said, I can't believe that it's grown so large in this short amount of time.
Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So what it looks like is we started in the midst of the pandemic. And what was happening was that events were getting shut down. They were getting canceled. And I just felt like people had to have this motivation, something to pull us together, and making sure that Trabaja was kind of at the core of all of that, because that's essentially what our mission and our value stands for, is bringing communities together. So the very first conference was virtual. It was completely virtual. We had over 2,500 attendees from all across the country tuning in.
That's amazing.
Virtually. Then we went hybrid. And then last year we did our first in-person, which was like a little teaser, a little taste. And then this year we're completely like blown it out with the convention center.
I love it. I love it. So what made you sort of enter into this space of throwing the conferences? Because your background in IT, and please, you know, tell the people a little bit about you, is varied in that way, right? So what made you think, you know what, we all need to be in the room. We all need to share ideas. We need to network.
I think my background in tech is very different. Like, I'm not a coder. I don't know how to do one lick of like HTML and things like that. But what I am is I'm an innovator. I'm a visionary. So I'm someone who sees a piece of technology and I think, okay, what's next? What can this product be, 5 years from now? And so when I was looking at everything that was happening with us building Trabaja, I saw that there was just like something missing. And that was bringing the community together. And this was before, there was all these different tech conferences. Diversitech was pretty new, especially in this area on the East Coast. And that's why we say we're the largest, because there was no one doing it in Philadelphia and still aren't doing it in Philadelphia right now. And so the thought was to essentially bring together our employer partners. We have over 300 right now. Bring together our training partners, so those who help upskill the community, and bring together our tech talent network, and that's over 15,000 nationally right now.
That's amazing. And I just want to highlight that a little bit, right? So a lot of people know about Afrotech, right? Trabaja has been to Afrotech, right? And also sold out their event at Afrotech, because I was like, oh, Philly supports Philly. I'm at Afrotech. I'm just going to go. Lies, right? Like 2 weeks or so before the event, I was like, all right, there would be And I wasn't going to slide in Shannon's DMs and be like, come on, let me see. No. So it was one of those things where there are definitely lots of different IT events that sort of pop through the area, but they don't stop in Philly. So, like, what are your thoughts around Philly being an IT hub? And sort of like, what would the city need to do to make it more IT friendly, I should say?
Well, I think the thing that Philly is trying to do more of is providing access to opportunities outside of Philadelphia. Because what ends up happening is that we do have companies here that are tech, but there's just
Very
not
much so.
enough to sustain the amount of talent that's coming out of the universities that are here.
Yes.
So what ends up happening is that you have your UPenn, you have your Penn State, you
Your
have your Villanova, your
Drexel.
Drexels, your Lincoln University. Shout
Yeah.
out to the HBCUs. And
Yes.
they essentially start going to these other cities because they don't see the opportunities that they want in the city. And so what Trabaja does is we stay in Philadelphia, but we bring the opportunities to the city. And I think that the city can take a couple notes from Trabaja in that sense, and doing a little bit more outreach outside of just Philly so that opportunities can be brought into the city and continue to grow from the outside in. There's more opportunities out in some of these larger cities. Well, we are one of the largest cities, but in some of these larger networks and tech communities.
You're talking about the Charlotte, you're talking about the Austin, the Houston, and of course, Silicon Valley and sort of all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Because the companies are remote. A lot of these opportunities are remote, and either they're remote or hybrid, but majority of them do let their software engineers and their tech talent work remote. And so that presents a huge opportunity for Philadelphians to work remote, get those experiences and from larger tech companies, but still keep it here in Philadelphia.
Shout out to working from home. And because I don't know that there's too many people that would love to go fully back into the office.
I know.
Especially, well, I mean, outside of just the convenience that one of the conveniences that we've experienced from COVID, but also just trying to find, like you said, the opportunities and the stretch assignments that we need to actually sort of grow in the space and have varied expertise. But Shannon, I'm just here to give Shannon her flowers for real. That's literally my job. So Shannon has been connecting the community, the global majority with these different experiences for over a decade. So like, how does it feel to sort of look at your path? And what would you say to Shannon in 2013, 2012? What would you say to your younger self? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that sort of tapped in and sort of are trying to figure it out.
I will say to just get started, I think that was one of my biggest fears, is kind of like taking that leap of faith and saying, yes, like I can, be an entrepreneur, even as a mom, even as someone who is, working full time. I think you get very complacent with where you are in your day-to-day.
Comfortable.
Very,
Yes.
very comfortable. That check looks really nice when it, hops into your bank account every single, month. But what happens is you start losing sight of that grand vision that you once had. One of my biggest fears is regret. And so I used to wake up every morning like, okay, what is that next step? I have to be an entrepreneur. And then I gave myself a deadline. I didn't care what the business was going to be. I just knew I was going to incorporate an LLC. So I set that deadline and I incorporated a business, which it was actually the very start of how I built Trabaja. So
That's beautiful.
been full time for almost going on 5 years now, and built a business out of the pandemic. I was, had unemployment checks. I essentially wanted to no longer work in corporate. The bias was crazy, and the toxic work environment just made my life a living hell. And I just said, I can't continue to be this person and bring this type of person home to my kids.
Right.
I'm not well this way, and I'm not doing my best work this way, not for myself, not for my family, etc. And so I essentially left that corporate environment, but I had no safety net other than unemployment for 6 months. And so I used those unemployment checks for 6 months to help build my business. And at that 6-month mark, I had no choice but to have my first client. And I've been full-time on entrepreneurship since that 6-month.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That was hard.
She said, sink or swim, y'all. And she just started swimming. Yeah. If you are tapped into the pregame, you'll know that I have interviewed the corporate creative who actually is from Philadelphia, who helps people throughout that transition. So click the link above so you'll see what that interview looks like and so you can tap in with them. So we talked about your in the beginning process, right? But I think sometimes I always am interested in what the last season taught you, right? So you've been at this game for a long time. One, IT, two, connecting the community to these different things, and also sort of entrepreneurship while being a parent, while being a Black Latino woman in this space. What did this last season teach you?
Oh, this last season was hard. Especially since coming off of a very good high in 2022 with the George Floyd situation and a lot of the tech companies, pulling a lot of money together to essentially, push it towards those DE&I initiatives.
Yes.
And so we felt really good at that moment, like, oh, companies are listening to us and it feels good. But then in 2023, all of a sudden they started pulling it back, right? Then we started experiencing a lot of tech layoffs. Even with some of the larger enterprise level companies that we partner with that we just would have never thought would have tech layoffs, right? The big giants, and I'm not going to name any, just in case they become my client again.
Google it. Go ahead.
But essentially, that 2023 really humbled me. I realized that there is no safe moment in entrepreneurship. Everything is a hustle. Every single day is like your first day. Like I mentioned, I got a little comfortable and I was like, oh, this feels good to, see all these companies just wanting to reach out to us. And then all of a sudden it just like reached this pause. That was a moment where, like I mentioned, it just humbled me to realize that I have to continuously go hard until I see that next milestone, whether that next milestone is $1 million acquisition, exit. I have to keep pushing until I reach that particular milestone, just like I did when I first started the company.
Understood. And a lot of people are attributing that to Supreme Court cases and sort of the removal of certain ideals that used to be very normal. And I'm trying to be very, very high level. So is there something that you feel as you're working with industry leaders, as you're working intimately with recruits, that you think sort of was a pivotal moment, or was it one of those things that sort of it was a domino effect?
I think it was a domino effect. I think the tech layoffs were happening. And I think that the Supreme Court rulings were a way to say, okay, that's another way for us to essentially reallocate budget somewhere else or take budget away from this thing that we never really wanted to put it towards anyway. And so they started to.
Ooh, that hurt. That one hurt. That one right here.
That was on the low.
Fellow corporate baddie. I'm like, ooh, she said that. We heard that.
We're gonna keep this just between us. So
I mean, it's fine.
And I think that was, more of leadership's way of kind of taking back control of the situation. When things happened during the pandemic, George Floyd and that whole situation, essentially. Employees, the workforce had a lot more power. The power was put in the people, in the hands of the people. And I think this shift essentially was a way to kind of like turn the tide. And so they took advantage of that and said, okay, we're going to make people feel the pain and we're going to make sure that people recognize that they need us. So that's what's happening right now.
And so as you're coaching and sort of as you're advising or sort of sitting in the various rooms with all of these people in tech recruits, TikTok made, going in IT real sexy, you're just like, just go to Google and then take a certificate and you can just dive into IT. So like, how does that feel now? Sort of as we're talking about how those tides have sort of turned. What would you say to somebody that's trying to break into tech?
I'm very realistic about the information that we share within Trabaja. And I think, call it tough love, call it motherly love, and what have you. But I would never tell someone that you can make 6 figures just by doing this thing. You can make 6 figures by doing this thing and doing some other.
Heavy on the and, y'all. Right. Heavy on the and.
And holding yourself accountable and being one of the best that's being interviewed, et cetera. So there's a lot more that comes with it. Being skilled and talented is not something that somebody can take away from you.
Say that again. I'm sorry. We're not just going to skip past that one. Go ahead.
being skilled in something is not something that someone can take away from you. So
Facts.
what I mean by that is when you obtain a certification, it's not so you can like post it on your wall and say that I've gotten this thing. It's so that now you're upskilled in a new skill that's high in demand and you can take that places, whether it's to another company or it's being an entrepreneur and leveraging those skills to either be a consultant, a freelancer, or building your own business somewhere. So I just want our people to understand that when people and influencers are sharing out this content about certifications and upskilling, you have to understand how to leverage that to get what you want and make that money. Because that's essentially what it's for. It's not to just be posted on a wall and to say that I got this thing.
And then heavy on it being applicable, right? So I think that one of the things that Shannon just highlighted is this something that's in demand? So like being able to, put together a formula in Excel is okay. It's great. That's the skill. But we're talking about AI, we're talking about automation, we're talking about some of the other levels of skill and technical expertise that there are certifications available for. They may be free and they may not be free. And that sometimes goes into the investment that you'd put into yourself. So as someone who's, let's talk to somebody else who's been in IT for maybe 10, 15 years. What do you say to them about that, the new tools that are coming out, or sort of how do they remain relevant in the workplace?
I think some of the folks that are more seasoned know that they have to be continuous learners. There's always new technology, and the thing that's probably kept them in the game this long is the fact that they're staying kind of like in the loop and abreast of like what's happening next. Because if a boss comes in and say, "Hey, we're gonna, advance our technology and use this new tool," you have to learn it. So I think the folks that have been in this space for a while, I think they know this. They know the game already. You have to constantly, be learning whatever is coming up next, what's trending, what's that next tool that you have to learn. So
And that's why you go to Diversitech.
yeah,
Right.
there's a lot
To
of
be
new
in the
tools.
room and network, also hear about, what's going on. The agenda is up, the speakers are being dropped. But please tell the people where they can find you so then they can get these tickets before they sell out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at tribaja.co. That's tribaja.co. That's also our tag on IG, TikTok, and anywhere where social media is relevant. I just want to do a quick.
Go for it.
I just wanted to do a quick shout out to some of our amazing sponsors that are going to be
Yes.
there. So we just got word that TikTok is sponsoring Diversitech this year,
Yes,
and so I'm really excited.
congratulations.
The thing that folks don't know, though, is they are essentially sponsoring a Diversitech marketplace, and that's for small and medium-sized businesses. So for those entrepreneurs out there who have some type of physical product and you're looking to figure out, how do I get it on TikTok Shop? How do I digitize, how I sell my products? This is definitely a conference that you should exhibit at. We are trying to do, advance economic mobility across the board, not just through tech, but through entrepreneurship and other avenues, because we want to make sure that our professionals and our community are safe even during times of downturn.
That is beautiful. Congratulations. I am super excited to see and hear of the local businesses, East Coast based businesses across the country that are going to say, I went to Jabaha Diversitech Conference and then ... Right?
Made money.
That's gonna be an amazing movie. Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna see it.
Yes.
But thank you for blessing the pregame. You already know. We talk about what's going on in Philadelphia, but we also bring Philadelphia's best creatives, business owners, and curators into this space. Thank you so much, Shannon. I really, really appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. You already know. Sending you the energy that you need to get the things you desire. See y'all outside. That's it, babe. Is there anything else that you wanted to highlight, or is there anything?
That was 7 minutes.
No. That was 25. So the first 7. I do everything within a half an hour because most people's attention spans are off. So the first 7-ish minutes, outside of my little corny intro, was your pregame. So that'll be a piece. And then we'll definitely do a piece for TikTok. And then there'll be the full piece. And then there'll be some reels in between.
I just want to do a small portion on what the VIP pass gets them,
Okay.
Just in case, because we do have like an EV vehicle sponsor that is going to be taking VIPs from the hotel to the.
Oh, that's
convention
awesome because that's better than what we got at Afrotech. Oh, Jesus. Afrotech is a mess. All right, so here we go. All right. I did stop it, but we're gonna sync real quick because she wants to do another drop. So, you want to count us in since you're over here?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Play it. You click record on there?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I know you see it. 1, 2, 3.
So Shannon, talk to me about these VIP tickets. Excuse me. 1 second. All right, reset in 3. So Shannon, talk to me about these VIP tickets.
Yeah. So
What's included?
Oh yeah. So there's lots of new items that are going to be included in the VIP pass that wasn't included last year. So in addition to the workshops that are only for the VIP, the folks who have VIP access, we also have the VIP reception and cocktail hour. And then we also have an EV vehicle that is taking VIP only from the hotel to the convention center, and then also to the VIP reception and cocktail event. So that EV vehicle, y'all are just gonna have to wait till you actually come to Diversitech and you
Okay.
will see what EV vehicle
Yeah,
is.
I
partnering.
try to get the exclusive. But what I can tell you is that I had VIP tickets last year, paid with my own money, okay, because I believed in the cause and I believed in the benefit to my personal development. And the VIP party cocktail reception was amazing. I still keep in contact with some of the people that I connected with then. So highly recommend. And I'm not just saying that because Shannon sitting next to me, right? All right, so tell the people where they can find you.
So you can find me at tribaja.co. That's TRIBAJA.co. And that's on all of our social medias. That's IG, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And you can meet us there.
I can't wait to see you on the VIP reception.
It's gonna be dope.
That's it. We're good.
Alrighty.
Thank you. We just need a selfie.
Okay. You stopped the thing?
I did.
Good.
All right.